Perfect. So, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I just finished my fixer-upper project and posted my first reel ever.
There you go.
70 likes, no joke.
I love it. That is so cool. Something, I still haven't managed to get the whole reel thing. I did try it once, but it was horrible. I was like, okay, no, let me just try another one. And then at some point, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my time, and then eventually, probably gonna get this work at some point.
It's not hard, honestly. I expected it to be longer and more, detailed.
Totally. Yeah. But I mean, until then, but hey, how's your day treating you? How's been like the whole weather for you recently?
Unbearable. I mean, I was born and grew up in Europe, and for me, it's essential to have seasons, and it's way too hot for me.
That's so cool. Where are you from in Europe?
I was born in Austria. I've been traveling my whole life, but before I came here to live permanently, my last residence was in Moscow, Russia.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Wow, that's so cool. So in like where in Austria? Like in Vienna?
Vienna.
That's so cool.
Capital.
That's so cool.
City gal.
I love it. I did visit once Vienna, and it was amazing. I loved it. It was expensive, but it was amazing.
Quick tip from a European person: if you want to experience the whole Vienna experience, but not spend as much money as you suppose, go to Budapest. It's in Hungary. It's like a little bit southeast from Austria.
Yeah.
Same architecture, same cultural basis, same vibes, like Control C, Control V, but thrice cheaper.
I love it. That is so cool. I love it. All right. Well, welcome to the show. It is so amazing to have you here. And what better way to be back on this? I mean, I took a break here and there, but what better way to be back on this than with someone so epic as you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. So, starting with the whole interview now, how this passion for acting started?
It started years and years ago. I remember my first play I attended. I was 3 years old.
Okay.
I was so excited. It was like a kindergarten little play. I played a fox, who like the main villain of the story. I enjoyed it so much. You have no idea. And show after show, like any opportunity to perform, I would grab it with my tiny hands and just go for it. I've been performing my whole life, mostly theater.
Okay.
I think till the end of high school, I was in theater, but then reality hit me. Like, my parents were not very hot about me being a performer for a career, so I switched path for a quick while. But then when I graduated, I had a year working in field, and then I came to my parents saying like, look, I did what you asked me to do, and can I live now? Please. They're like, okay, you got your higher education, you're good, go do whatever you want, try out. At least if you fail, you have proper education, whatever it means.
Totally.
So I came here for a short program in New York Film Academy, the department in Los Angeles. The only difference was it was acting for film, which I never did. I've done a few music videos, but that's not about acting. It's about just following directions, as you know, party person number 2, like woo, girl in a cafe. That's basically it. So my first experience on camera was in December of 2018, and I fell in love with it. I loved it way more than theatrical acting, maybe because of the opportunity to redo, find a new approach. You can have multiple cuts. You can discuss it with director. Speaking of theatrical plays, every show is a new show.
Sure.
You cannot do every single movement, every single glance as as rehearsed as the play is. You cannot be the same. So it's a different approach that I actually quite liked. Then I got into American Academy of Dramatic Arts here in Los Angeles as well, and enjoyed it. And then we had pandemic, which I did not enjoy because I've been sitting at home like one of those complete losers who actually obey every rule. So yeah, I've been sitting at home for almost 2 years.
Okay. And going back with your going back here with your acting career, like how you usually prepare a character. Now you understand, of course, that it depends on the role, right? But what usually kind of sets your mind, let's say, in order for you to prepare a character?
Well, basically everything is in the script.
Okay.
The main point is not the things that characters are saying, but you can get so much useful information from these small directions, from the settings, interior, exterior, weather, gasps, glances, pauses, cues, beats, all those things. They build a personality, and story starts writing itself. And you can catch patterns, why this or that character does one or another choice, makes one or another choice, and you see the story. And other thing that I'm very grateful for, speaking of my first education, I have a Bachelor of Arts in Cultural Studies. So knowledge of beautiful and amazing Carl Jung is very, very tight in my head. It's going nowhere anytime soon. So when you can define an archetype, psychotype, and just observe the story, why this character does this or that, you can instantly go to their childhood, to their like first crisis, first crush, and then you just see that person, like you're introducing yourself to them and they introduce themselves to you.
Okay.
And when you made this connection, when you met each other, when you heard each other's stories, that's where this bundle of your representation of this character begins. So that's where acting starts. When you, with your own point of view, trying to represent completely different person. And that's the beauty, that's the chance, the opportunity to look from the other perspective, to be more comprehensive, to be more open-minded. So it not only representation of and development of some written character, it's personal growth too, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a whole other process, right? And the fact that you want to make it as relatable as possible, I think that's kind of the key, right? Whenever you are in this process to kind of make the character, so for the audience, so when we, the audience, look at it, we can totally relate, regardless that we don't know anything about the person who is playing it at that moment. But the fact that you can make some either like the way you express yourself or the things that this character will do to make it relatable, I think that is, I mean, when you make this connection with the audience, I would say that it is beautiful, right? That is when you have like a proper connection, right, with the whole audience itself, right?
True. And speaking of the character, the connection between actor and character, you might not be totally on the same page, you might not agree with every single choice, but when you understand when those choices, when those words are coming from, it becomes way easier to connect. Because I know that I, as Vlada, wouldn't ever do or say something like that, but I know why this person says or does something.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
it helps a lot to empathize with the person that you represent.
Yeah. Which I would assume that sometimes whenever you are preparing this character, if your character has to deal with this very emotional scene that you have never experienced, it can be hard, right, for you to kind of portray that, in order for you to kind of be in that situation, but at the same time, the real you haven't experienced that, right? I mean, I think whenever you try to get this emotion, it can get super hard. But I think that once you are able to manage it, it's super relatable for whoever lived that situation before. You know what I mean?
Exactly, but the thing about acting and representing a character, usually we see first times for a character too. So as much as a first time for me, for example, drug addiction.
Yeah.
Never been addicted to any drugs. So if I represent somebody who's just about to become addicted, to get this problem and start dealing with it actively, for both of us it's new. And the main difference that this person is following through this path.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm not, but what if? And this what if, that what makes you empathize and connect deeply with the character.
Absolutely. And like how you manage to kind of whenever you have to play something difficult, let's say, right? Like how you manage to break character and return to be you.
Exactly, but that's another thing about there are multifunctional, multi-talented actors, but as soon as they gain fame, popularity, not even fame and popularity, we all are typecasted. And the actor can be very talented, very passionate, full of emotions, empathy, and this spark that can lit everything and anything. But if that person doesn't look like somebody from this situation. For example, as much as I love the like girl next door stories because they're real, they're cozy, I can never be a girl next door. I don't look like a girl next door, like a beautiful blonde American girl that like is a cheerleader or whatever cliche you can pick from your mind, pick it. That's not me. I cannot do it under any circumstances except if it's like experimental movie and it's like an idea of the director that actor should be like polar opposite of the character, the appearance from behavior, emotions, story, etc.
Okay, yeah, but like whenever you have a, let's say a very tough scene, you know, or a very dramatic scene, how you manage to break character so you can return to be yourself? I mean, do you have a process that you usually do so you can break character and return to be you, or like what is the thing that you kind of do in order to return?
For return, first of all, I don't really believe in method acting. I treat method actors with huge respect, but I would never go there because the subject of going back to who you are, it's huge. A lot of people don't. Just think of beautiful, legendary Heath Ledger. He just didn't. He didn't come back. But for me, the process is like when I hear cut, when it's the final scene, we're not repeating it and we're done, we're moving on. I move on too. I lived through it, the situation is done, and that's how I am in real life. I'm not chewing stories from like 10 years ago. What if I acted differently? What if that or this person told me a different thing and my reaction was so it's done. The book is closed. It was intense. It was beautiful. I was truthful. We're moving on. Wipe tears or wipe sweat and let's go do some some cool stuff.
Totally. Now, what would you say is one of the reasons why an actor or an actress might get stuck when they are in this process of character creation?
Might get stuck. I think there's one reason of getting stuck: overthinking. As much as I adore analysis and breaking character,
Yeah.
the moment you get on the loop and you get in this spiral motion when you're diving deeper and deeper and like basically drilling through earth to find the root, it's not gonna work, because you cannot become this person no matter how long and how intense you drill inside, how deep. You cannot become this person. You were born who you are. You look how you look, even with beautiful prosthetics and CGI effects, and you cannot change your essence. If you do, you're not you, and it's whole another story. But I think that it's crucially important not to overthink, because as soon as you get the essence, as soon as you have this feeling of that's what it's about.
Yeah. Okay.
When you get this essence, when you get this little flavor, little taste of this personality, play with it. Go from this point, because if you start getting deeper and deeper and deeper, that's where self-doubt comes. You overthink, so you overload the character, and usually when you do this and you come on set completely prepared with this whole beautiful story in your head, and then you start performing with your full soul, with your full passion, and you hear cut, and the director says, okay, that was good, that was amazing, but do this, and that.
Yeah.
And no, I cannot, because in my head this character would never ever do whatever you're saying. And that's like the first bump. When you're overthinking, when you're overloading the character, you don't leave yourself this space to move, to play, to adjust. So I think that would be the main reason of some people getting stuck with a character and not able to let them go, because in their head, like, reality and expectations, when they meet and they do not add up, that's where the stuck comes from, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you could describe a film, right, in which all of the characters that you have played at the moment, basically since day one, like all of those characters will gather for your birthday. So it's basically going to be your characters and yourself to celebrate your birthday. Tell me, what would be the name of the film?
Oops. Literally. So I'm mostly a comedy actor, and from the typecasting, my comfort type would be eccentric, like Phoebe Buffay from Friends, for example. So I'm not like this. I'm not gonna deny I'm a little bit chaotic, but I'm a very logical and structural person. So if I gather everyone I've ever played, it will be a beautiful disaster. First of all, those people will never get along. They would try to outdo each other, to show off more, to be even more eccentric than they ever were, because there's like the audience and this, subconscious competition. Who's brighter, who's weirder, who's more not like everybody else. So yeah, the best name for this movie is Oops, but with this emoji,
I love it. Okay. Now, like, what motivates you? We all have those days in which we basically want to quit, regardless of how good things are, or probably not that good, let's say. Like, what usually puts your feet back on the ground and continuing this journey that you have been working for so many years now?
I can tell from like the longest experience in my life, because I quit acting for 6 years.
Okay.
And I wasn't performing for almost 6 years, a little bit less than 6. And it made me miserable.
Huh.
It made me miserable because the job that I was doing was unfulfilling. Events that I was attending, they were unfulfilling. Beautiful, amazing people that were in my life, it was unfulfilling because of one single thing. I wasn't fulfilled with myself.
Okay.
And no matter what happens in your life, if you're not content with who you are, what you're doing, and before going to bed, you don't feel like, oh, I did good today. I did everything I wanted. Everything I dreamt and hoped to happen to me happened. And it's been long as 6 years of going to bed without that feeling. And I remember after my first, it was orientation day, so we weren't even, I didn't even have any classes that day. So we were walking around the campus, looking at classrooms, like sneaking peeks at students, at their classes, how it's going, how it works. I came home and I felt such a huge relief. So during those days when I feel like, oh my God, how long will it take to get like to maintain myself only from acting, for example, or where the hell is my first Emmy? You know? I remember, I think of those 6 years, and I remember that evening when I came from the orientation at New York Film Academy, and how dramatically different I felt. And I don't want to go back. Nothing will make me go back. Not money, not success, whatever it means for anybody else, people, family, name it. I mean, because I know that I wouldn't be able to fully enjoy and appreciate everything that I have if I don't have this outlet of the energy, of thoughts, of passion that lives inside of me. So yeah, I think about, rarely, but this thought pops into my head, like it's way too hard, it's way too long, it pisses me off. But then I remind myself of how I felt, and like, oh no, I'm not coming back. Yeah, it's hard, it's tough, I don't like it, I genuinely don't like today, but it still is way better than it was before.
There you go. And my last question here is, what can we expect from you in the future?
Ooh, expect unexpected. I don't know. I have a lot of plans, goals, and things that I would love to do career-wise. But I think my main thing in the nearest future is to build a crew, a great crew around me of agent, manager, publicists, and people I can collaborate with. So I know that this passion, this energy, and this desire to act, to perform, to create something new will always find an outlet. For me, it's a great example of one of first Judd Apatow's projects is Freaks and Geeks. First of all, beautiful, amazing show. Huge mistake that it was canceled. I rewatch it like on average once 2 years. But the crew, the gang they formed, all of those actors, writers, producers, people who were like slightly on the show, on this show, like popped up for 5 minutes in one episode, they are deeply connected and they participate in each other's projects. They collaborate. They have podcasts. They have books, different projects all together. And I think this is very important to, when you're not surviving as an actor, but enjoying your life and enjoy sharing your life, enjoy sharing your success, the matter of survival just disappears. You're not a lonely wolf who's, scrapping for life and ready to do anything and everything to survive. You get to enjoy it when you're surrounded by people who have your back, and you know that you have their backs. And this beautiful society, it can be very small and tight, it can be huge and beautiful, as for example Freaks and Geeks, but I think it's a beauty. I know it's show business, not show friendship, but isn't it nice when you can do your business and not being terrified and scared that anybody at any moment can stab you in your back?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my main goal for right now. I want to build my little beautiful community to go further from that point.
There you go. All right, I like that. And you know what? I'm super sure that it's gonna happen super soon. Hear me on that. That's gonna happen super soon. And also, I mean, the fact that you're doing it because you love it, you like it. You know, it as simple as it may sound, we know that it's super hard. I mean, I've discovered that whenever you are working or following something, you really want to do it. It tends to be like triple hard as if you go find a regular job and problem solve, right? I mean, it tends to be way more hard. But at the same time, I mean, those victories you get, like those small victories you get on the thing that you love the most, I mean, they taste amazing, and they make you feel even much better than if you had on a regular job and get your bonus, let's say, or things like that, right? So the fact that you are doing it because it's your passion, it's amazing. And as I said, it's super obvious that eventually all of those things that you are working on are gonna happen. Hear me on that, and that's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I want to thank those who are watching this right now, either later here on Instagram or probably later on YouTube or listening in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Make sure to follow in Vlada and all of the social media. Normally, what I would say is for you to put pause, go follow her right now. Let's make her viral. # Team Vlada. She's amazing. She's awesome. And keep pushing. Keep doing what you do. As I said, it is super inspiring. And I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one.
Very excited to see you again and bomb you with beautiful news.
Sounds like a plan. Have a good one, okay? Thank you.
You too. Have a good one.
Bye. You too.
Bye.